Hey folks! This week's episode is starting off with a warning. Mostly, if you're not a big fan of spiders, well, you're in for a lot of them. That said, I was actually referred to this game by someone with a fear of spiders, so it might be okay. Specifically, I'm alluding to Casey Donnellan Games' spider-slaying simulator, Kill It With Fire. An action-oriented simulation with some mild puzzle-solving to boot. And no, you're not just limited to fire. Which means it's time to find out if this provided an awesome bit of arachnid annihilation, or if this webisode is going to be devoted to a sticky mess of bugs. I'm your host Arlyeon. Let's find out together. Are you dealing with unwanted eight-legged guests? Are you waking up to webs woven in the worst spots? Did a spider recently welcome you to your own parlor? If so, call Kill It With Fire. We'll purge your problems so you don't have to. Which, more or less, is a pretty good description of what you'll be doing, since the game is pretty light on plot, seeing fit to throw you into spider smashing with a certain degree of gusto. That's not to say there isn't story, but it's mostly limited to the Omega files. Hidden collectibles in each stage provide some background information about the game. It also helps to make sense of just how the game culminates in the way it does, given the final stage is a major trip with an ending that had me cracking up. I mean, I suppose I should specify the normal ending. There's a secret ending that can be found at the end of a hidden stage, but that requires a little bit more elbow grease. And while it certainly provides a neat stinger, it's a very different vibe from the normal ending. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, since we haven't even really addressed the basics, and to Kill It With Fire's credit, it's pretty darn good at introducing those. Things start out simple enough, as you're only armed with a clipboard and a hatred for eight-legged freaks. And I do mean armed, since within moments of me opening a drawer and unleashing a spider into the house, I found myself frantically smashing the clipboard in its direction, only for the bastard to slip underneath a door and vanish out of sight. And that really sort of lays out the fundamental foundations for your misadventure, as you'll need to scour the various stages to unearth where the spiders are hiding, if only so you can then exterminate them with an ever-growing arsenal before they go back to hiding. In fact, rampant extermination is how you'll progress through the stages, as doors and even the exit require a certain kill quota. Something that becomes further complicated as you progress and discover that there's spider variants. Queen spiders that burst into a mass of spiderlings, nigh translucent spiders insidiously lurking in plain sight, jumping spiders that can fuck right off out of my face, and more still. Thankfully, you have some sweet spidar, the spider radar, to help hunt them down. I mean, okay, it's sort of rubbish to start out with, but that's just the basic stuff. There is, after all, a whole lot more to do than just slapping spiders senseless. And no, I'm not just talking about murdering them in increasingly elaborate ways to discover bigger and better weapons to flesh out the walking arachnid annihilating armory you become. Specifically, I'm talking about the objective system, which served as the central reason I retained the clipboard in my inventory throughout my playthrough. Objectives are essentially optional goals available to you in each stage, which serve as challenges for you to solve. Once you've found them in the first place, given that while some objective pages are easy enough to encounter, others are pretty well hidden. Once you've snagged them, you can check your clipboard to figure out what you need to do. Things such as simple acts of vandalism, like setting a room's worth of stuff on fire, to more involved acts of vandalism, like finding and breaking every family photo in a home. There's also perplexing quandaries to conquer, like figuring out how to drop an anvil on a spider, or doing dishes with C4. Wait, that's maybe not perplexing. There's a spider in there somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's on fire. Oh yeah, that's all of them quite dead. Anyways, I generally found these to be pretty neat and one of the central reasons why I wound up returning to earlier stages. They're just all in all pretty solid. they're also pretty damn rewarding. For one thing, clearing objectives also allows you to unlock side areas or drawers containing new weapons for you to putter around with. And the weapons, I should note, feel incredibly rewarding, since you get a number of firearms, a few flavors of fiery death, including a flamethrower, and even cheesy poofs. I mean, these technically count as weapons. Look, they're spider bait to help facilitate murder, and also to somehow transform your prey into the type of spider you want to slay. But that's not all you can find. There's also other hidden collectibles stashed away, such as upgrades for your character. This, admittedly, is a pretty important detail, given the character perks you gain access to provide all sorts of convenience, like being able to sprint, holding more gear, or even extremely powerful options like low gravity or unlimited ammo. And those objectives you've been clearing? Each one cleared provides a skill point for you to spend on that perk system. Your spider also has collectible upgrades, which drastically increase its utility so it stops being a potato, though its skill points come in the form of collectible batteries hidden in each stage. In any case, feel free to tinker around with these systems to your heart's content, given that you can freely change your skill allotment between stages. It definitely helped me when it came to clearing out the spider gauntlets, which... Right! So, spider gauntlets. These represent the apex challenge in each of the game's stages, and you're only actually able to access these after you've cleared out all the preceding objectives. And they're hard. They task you with murdering a certain amount of spiders in a limited amount of time in frequently very specific ways. The first one you come across, for instance, challenges you to kill 5 spiders with a fucking 6-shot revolver without reloading. This is diabolically hard when you first encounter it, which made me incredibly grateful for the fact that you can just replay earlier stages with all of the weapons and abilities you've unlocked. The stage also returns to its unblemished pre-spider killing rampage state, so you can enjoy trashing it a second time or scour its surfaces for secrets in a clutter-free environment. That mostly wound up trashed after I was going back to do the gauntlets again. That said, I was pretty pleased at the ultimate reward I got for doing them all, because, well, individually they don't really provide anything but the warm glow of achievement, but cumulatively they unlock a post-game bonus mission replete with new upgrades and weapons to tinker around with, and some nonsense I alluded to in the story segment, yeah, that bonus ending in the stinger. Still, the glory of the hunt isn't for everyone, so if you can't be bothered to do the busy work, the game just offers you the option of unlocking all the content when booting it up. Really, it's surprisingly courteous. Then again, I shouldn't be surprised, given that for a game about spiders, it also has a number of accessibility options for arachnophobes. Mostly these amount to visual elements, such as making the spiders a little less creepy, or removing the scare cords, and other audio elements that occur when you've spooked a spider into showing itself. I didn't really toggle around with these much, admittedly, but I definitely appreciate their inclusion, given my girlfriend is super not fond of spider bros, whether digital or physical. Even without those, I was just impressed by the game's sound design. There's something great about Kill It With Fire's OST. It's a lot of fun to listen to as you brazenly bust up people's homes and slaughter spiders, and the way it can go to mildly disquieting when a discordant chord kicks in, signaling a spider slipped out of its hiding place and is now scuttling about in your periphery, excellent. And the sound effects, such as when you're just waiting on a door or a drawer to open, I love it. I honestly love it. And the visuals are nothing to scoff at either. I enjoyed the overall appearance of things, especially as I smashed them into ruins. I also really dug that there was a set of character upgrades that changed the palette to be more akin to both Untitled Goose Game, as well as something stolen straight out of a noir film. It's just fun. It's just silly. Which, yeah, that's really the note I want to end this review on. I just had a heap of fun when I was playing Kill It With Fire. It was a delightful romp that essentially served as a shenanigans simulator where I got to indulge in all sorts of stupid solutions to very simple problems. Like the aforementioned dishwasher C4 moment, which, yeah, that was such a blast. I'm not sorry. But what I am saying here is that I legitimately recommend this game. In fact, I can't really think of anyone I wouldn't recommend this to, even you arachnophobes watching. Ultimately, I had so much fun when playing it that I found myself hoping there was still more to come. And technically, I lucked out since a major content update happened while I was writing this review. It added a new stage, some actual friendly spider bros, additional weapons and perks, and just a whole lot of fun malarkey. And, you know, it further feeds my hope for more in the future. So, yeah, if it's not apparent, I really adore this gloriously silly sim, and I highly recommend that you give it a try too. Which is to say, it's a crit hit in my book. Okay? Anywho, thanks for tuning in. If you agree, disagree, or just have something to say to me, feel free to comment. If you have an interest in supporting my efforts to create new indie reviews, interviews, and gaming content, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you know when there's a new release. There's also a Discord link in the description to become part of our community, the Crit Hit Cauldron. And if you want to see me going through these games live, you can check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/Arlyeon. That said, I'll catch you folks on the next episode of Crit Hit. Take care till then.